CJ Flyer back with the fire, another YouTube video. Finally back with another NBA 2K25 tutorial. It has been quite a while. I apologize. Had some issues, medical emergency for our cat, for our family. So that's all settled though. She's fine. Everything's good. We're back. We got a tutorial, and I wanted to get this out there as quickly as possible. Just again, helping to spread awareness like I have been. I cannot take all the credit for this, but I just want to let people know that are not aware. For anyone that is not familiar with this YouTuber, Pete Toll, he has connections with NBA players and the Retired Players Association, and he has been doing amazing work at getting in touch with former retired players and getting them incorporated into NBA 2K25, into the official Steph era rosters. So as 2K continues to make updates throughout the season, we are going to be seeing some new players added into the Steph era. So if you, for whatever reason, happen to know of a player's contact or social media account or anything, and they aren't in the game, and if you watch Pete Toll's video here and there's no mention or of anything of the player being added, go ahead, get in touch with Pete and see what can get done if the player's interested in getting added to NBA 2K25 through the Retired Players Association. So just to show you guys kind of what this roster looks like. So I would recommend downloading Pete's roster as opposed to relying on 2K to make updates, because the updates, they just take a while to get done. 2K's already created a lot of the player models for these historic players. They just haven't made the official roster update yet. However, now that we have the PC version of the game, also on the current generation of current version of the game, I should say. They're not sitting on the old generation with the PS4 and Xbox One. Players are able to take those hidden game files from the PC, add them to a roster, and then share them to the consoles through the 2K share. So let's go ahead, take a look. I'm on NBA 2K25 here. If we go ahead to view roster, go to the Steph era, and then click on user created roster here. And I actually don't have to search for Pete's username. He's one of the top rosters already. Steph era with real faces added. I recommend using this one. Nothing against these other rosters. Shout out to Mr. Joseph, by the way. But Pete here, PT Sports 84, he's the one that's kind of, on the front lines of getting these updates made, or helping getting these updates made. So he's more aware of things as they happen. So if we go ahead and click on his roster just to kind of show you some names. Of course, you just saw from the screen recording of my desktop, we saw Jabari Parker there. But as we continue to go through, obviously there's Serge Ibaka. We've talked about him before, but now we got his headshot in there as well. We got some other players in here. Jody Meeks. I'm just throwing out all kinds of names. I think CJ Watson was not there before, right? So he's there. And yeah, that's the other thing. Headshots are added as well. So it's not just the the 3D player model headshot. It's like an actual image of the player, if you will. So Grievous Vasquez, that was another player that wasn't here before, so he's included in here. And some of these, I think some of these are just the headshot and not the actual player model. I could be wrong about that. Let me go ahead, cancel this. We're going to take Pete's roster and take a look at some of these player models here. So we'll go back down to PT Sports 84. And again, you can use this for the My NBA mode too, for eras. So if you go to the Steph era, I'm not going to do the walkthrough of it, but yes, this roster is able to be used for play now, for eras, and just regular, play now. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at, I do want to see if this is a legit player model or not. This is not a legit player model. So some of these are just the headshot being added, and then some of these are also the player model as well. I'm trying to think of someone that would have had the player model added. Would Lance Stevenson? Because he was not here before, I don't believe. No, this is also just a generated player, or not generated player, but you know what I mean. It's not an official scan for a player model. We got Boban here. I'm trying to think of who was not included. That was kind of a big name. That not I'm not talking about like Blake Griffin. I'm not talking about John Wall. I'm not talking about Serge Ibaka. Let me see here. Patty Mills has been here. Ginobili, Parker. God goodness, can't think of any names off the top of my head. Enes Kanter, he was not added before, that's for sure, and that's definitely not an Enes Kanter scan. Okay, Anthony Morrow, that should be a new. There we go. That's an Anthony Morrow player model. At least that looks legit to me. I believe this is a scan. Jabari Parker, I think, was another one. Let's go over to the Milwaukee Bucks here and go to. He's playing in Europe now, I believe. Jabari Parker, is this just the headshot, or is this? Yeah, it's just the headshot. Okay. So, anyways, it'll at least be helpful for those of you. Oh, hold on, one more player. Go to the Lakers, Mozgov. Definitely got to take a look at Mozgov. Did he get added to the game? No, that is not Mozgov at all. Luol Deng, though. Luol Deng, maybe? Oh, yes, that is, at least that looks like a Luol Deng player scan, potentially. So, yeah, looks like some players got scanned, some still have not. That being said, if you happen to know any of these players personally, for whatever reason, you can go ahead and get in touch with them and help get them added to the game. So there you have it. If you have any questions, of course, give a shout in the comments below. I don't know everything, but I would recommend especially reaching out to Pete for this. And one thing I'm not very sure of, let's actually go ahead and go into my NBA here. And this is something I have not reached out to Pete at all or anything. Him and I do not know each other. But I was curious to see if contracts were added or not. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Were contracts added to this roster? That is what I would like to know, because if they are, that's perfect. If not, it's useful for play now. It's not really useful for my NBA rebuild, so to speak. So let's go ahead, turn on custom roster here. I don't really care about the other settings at the moment. And we'll go ahead, use that roster once it, okay, sometimes this will happen. You have to click R1 and then back L1 for it to appear. There we go, Steph era with real faces added by PT Sports 84. And we get that pulled up. I'll just we'll select Lakers. Lakers signed Mozgov and Deng to some really big contracts, so I think we'll know right away if these are legit or not. As far as the contracts are concerned, 4 years 72, 4 years 60, that seems pretty legit to me. I'm gonna go ahead and search NBA contracts here. Excuse the typing real quick. I am doing little to no editing for this video. I've been so pressed for time. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's switch back to the monitor here, and I'll show you guys what we're looking at. So Mozgov with the Lakers. There you go. There's 16 million, and then yeah, he got traded around quite a bit. Maybe a better player to look up. Hold on. Let's look at Deng now. Let's just see what Luol Deng's contract's looking like. Luol Deng contracts and salaries. I'm going on a different website now. Oh no, I can't use Sports Track. I have to get a premium account. Let's go back to Hoops Hype. And let's see. I mean, that looks. If it ain't, I don't know. That's fully legit. Is there a player contract or a player option at the end of that? What's at the end of that contract? Let's go ahead and take it. No, that is a full-fledged 4-year deal. Maybe he had a buyout. I'm trying to remember what happened. But anyways, just so y'all can see what I'm looking at. This is what I'm seeing here. It looks pretty close to being in line with what was going on 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19. And then I can't remember if he got bought out or what happened here, where you know, that he's getting paid $5 million a year. Oh, that's right. It got stretched. I think it got stretched out, right? I don't know. I'm not up to date. I mean, the numbers seem pretty close if they're not spot on. Let's go ahead and look at Jabari Parker. That would be another one. I don't think that will be as weird of a situation because Jabari Parker did not get dropped off the face of the earth when his contract was nearing the end. So let's go ahead and look at that and see. I'm seeing, yeah, he would have been on his rookie contract at that point, I think. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That number doesn't make sense. Hold on. Let's go ahead and... yeah, I don't think that number makes sense. If you guys look at this, those numbers don't match up. So it looks to me, just from a quick glance, that the contracts don't quite line up. But that's something that can always get fixed in the future. I think right now there's more focus on just getting the players on the roster with the right attributes and progression settings, and then worry about the contracts later. But that's something that I think is kind of has been overlooked by a lot of roster creators recently. It's just we just need to get these contracts locked down. I know 2K is not perfect with the contracts, but something on the to-do list. But yeah, got any questions? Anything specific getting players added, I would reach out to Pete. But if you got any questions about just in general how to access the roster and whatnot, let me know in the comments down below, and I'd be glad to help you out. And click one of the videos on your screen now for some more NBA 2K25 tutorials.